Power Rangers is something that I came to enjoy ever since I was a child. A team of heroes protecting Earth from monstrous threats and intergalactic danger. It's what it's always been about, isn't it? But not everything in the show can be enjoyed, at least by me. Some of the stuff I didn't take too well, and there's even a few that made me slap my head. I'm a viewer of the show, but I have opinions of what I look at. When I started watching from the very first season, the action itself, it just drew me in. But these years, the vibe just isn't the same. And there are various reasons for it. And just so you know, I'm not alone. There are other YouTubes who feel this way. Mr. Meanie Productions and Infinity Attitude, just to name a few. If you don't know who they are, I'll put a link in the description to their channels. So, I'd like to talk about the kind of Power Rangers that suits the kind of audience I am. First and most important, the storytelling. I talk the most about this subject. If you've been watching all the seasons, even though not in order, by now you'd get that each and every one contains a plot line specific and unique in some way. But other than there's an evil force who desires to take over the planet and the Power Rangers are formed to put a stop to that force, is there anything that these stories have in common? Is there a reason for these stories to exist? Is there anything behind it all? Well, here's what would get my attention. What if some of the plots are connected with each other? And before you say none of my ideas are possible just because Power Rangers occurs in more than one continuity, I want everything to happen in one continuity. Which, of course, is my next point. Everything occurs in one space-time continuum. That way, the events make more sense. There is no such thing as a multiverse, which means, yes, I'm disregarding that Ninja Steel crossover, some of those, and the few seasons that take place in alternate dimensions. I want the canon to be perfectly proper. Also, the Power Rangers name. With respect to RPM and Dino Charge, how did they come up with Power Rangers if it doesn't take place in the same timeline as Mighty Morphin? That name has to come from somewhere, right? And sticking to talking about canon, I move on to timeline. From theories that would have been come up, some would simply assume that one season takes place every year just because of periodic production. Well, not in my case. For less inconsistencies, each season occurs at the right timing. The chronology can be off a little, but it works somehow. And the most important element to me, the logic. It seems as though as the Power Rangers franchise proceeded, the show, at least to me, seems to be making lesser sense. Perhaps to the point where there is no longer any logical explanation for it. Well, you know what? I don't like it when things don't make sense. So, in my vision, there should be good logic behind everything. And the only way to understand is to do the research and use real existing theories. Scientific, psychological, philosophical, those kinds. Now on to another category, characters. First, the Power Rangers, obviously. I think it makes the most sense when every team comprised of different members, because one person being various Rangers at the same time, if you ask me, confusion does play its part. Now yes, they found a way for Tommy to morph into different Rangers with the Master Morpher, but the point is, which one should he be officially? Which Ranger suit fits him the best? And what about the other Rangers? Catherine, who's both a pink Zeo Ranger and a pink Turbo Ranger. I mean, why did I see her with her Turbo Morpher? Shouldn't I be seeing her in her Zeo Morpher? I mean, I know that power is not lost. And TJ being the Red Ranger, but passing leadership to Andros and becoming the Blue Ranger? It makes me wonder if TJ missed being a leader, let alone the Red Ranger. Of course, I did see him in his red suit in the Forever Red episode, but weren't those turbo powers supposed to be lost? I mean, how did TJ get his turbo powers back exactly? Did he get it? Did he found a spare morpher in his Lightning Cruiser the same way Justin did, finding his spare morpher in his Storm Blaster? I don't know. I just seem so. I'm just clueless. So overall, in my Power Rangers universe, one person is one Power Ranger only. The first few seasons is fine, but in the end, one Ranger power has to end up with only one person. Oh, I just thought of something. You know, we always see the Power Rangers in their respective seasons, no time earlier. So what if we see these people before they become Power Rangers, one season or more prior? So just to build up some suspense of it would make us wish that they were Power Rangers, and later on we'd see it happen, you know. And what about the other characters who have supporting roles? I don't really have a problem with those people. Let them play their parts, and that's simple, but don't include anyone unnecessary. That's the only concern I have with that. And the monsters that the Power Rangers fight, I've noticed that there are instances where two monsters have one name. So I'm just gonna say that each of these monsters should be named differently. When I said I wanted everything in Power Rangers to have a logical explanation, and you have to research and use theories to understand it all, I forgot to mention something. I know someone on YouTube who does this. He does this research to explain situations in TV shows and movies. And most of it is Disney stuff. His name is Isaac, and he owns a YouTube channel called Watso Videos. I'll put a link to his channel in the description if you want to check it out. And the expertise that he's got, it's what it takes for everything situated in Power Rangers to be fully understood. Next is the seasons and episodes. The way I'd want it, there'd be one season for each adaptation. The first 3 seasons of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers and the Alien Rangers miniseries I'm okay with. But starting from Zeo and doing it since, 1 season is enough for me. No super seasons and no 2 season adaptations. Just 1 season at a time to feature one different team of heroes and enough episodes to last the year through. Now when it comes to the episodes, let me say I want each and every one of them to be a normal 30-minute regular. No holiday specials. To me, they just seem out of place with the chronology. My suggestion? Use only a few aspects of it in hand-picked episodes, without making it too much like it should be a special. Christmas, Halloween, and Valentine's Day, that's as far as I'd go with it. And what about the filler episodes? I don't know, I don't really distinguish what episode it really is, so I'm okay with filler episodes as long as they are still part of the main plot. And the motion picture movies, well, the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger movie is the only one satisfactory just because it is not canon to the original series. The Turbo movie, on the other hand, I'd say disregard that and open the Turbo chapter another way. Now, the people who own the franchise, Saban, Disney, Hasbro, I don't really care about the ownership, but here's what I'm thinking. Each season should be given a good personal touch by the people who work on it. What do I mean by that? Well, here's an example. A season done by Disney ought to have some Disney touches. And I mean something that a true Disney company would do. Nothing like what Gravity Falls or Pickle and Peanut were supposed to be. I mean touches of the true Disney. Well, you think about it, but you get my point. And finally, the quality of the show. Well, simply put, it should always be the same. The tone should not be too dark, like how RPM turned out to be, but neither too childish. It should be exactly the way the first seasons were, or at least just enough to maintain the TVY7 rating. And so now I've come to the end of my discussion. To summarize everything I've explained, I want my Power Rangers universe to be where everything that happens makes sense and there is a logical explanation for all of it. The characters are well thought out, and the overall theme is kept constant. I'd also like to make a statement that I am thinking about making my own fan-made Power Rangers openings, but as of this recording, I don't have the necessary knowledge to do just that. If you're able to help, you're free to do just that. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment, or if you want to respond with a video of your own, I personally recommend that that video be private so that I'll be the only one seeing the video and no one else. And there's a link in the description to the music I want you to use in your video. That music is to be heard as the video starts. And simultaneously, there should be a message put up at the beginning to let me know I'm watching this private video made by you. I will watch the video, but only once I read the message and hear the music. So how do you want Power Rangers to work out for you? How do you want it to suit your taste of entertainment? How logical do you want it to be? How scary do you want it to be? And if you dislike shows that make sense, why? Let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.